Hello again for the last part of our Gareth Daniels retrospective. Kind of where we ended up last time. I'm not sure if I mentioned City of Fear. I think I did. It's alright. It's not a great film. It's alright. But anyway, moving on. Next we have Fatal Blade. Starring Gareth Daniels, of course, as a cop yet again, who is tasked with finding this Japanese hitman, played by Kiyoshi Nakajo, who's an excellent swordsman, and of course they end up teaming up at the end, going against the Yakuza. A really good Gareth Daniels film. Lots of martial arts action by Gareth Daniels, lots of swordplay by Kiyoshi Nakajo. I would recommend Fatal Blade. Then we have, moving up to date now, after a long period of nothing much by Gareth Daniels, we had the film adaptation of the video game Tekken, which has a lot of really hot women in it, a bit like the game. If you're a fan of Tekken, you're either going to love this film because the characters look pretty faithful to the computer game characters, and certainly a lot more faithful than the Street Fighter, the movie with Van Damme. But on the other hand, you may not like it because it's not that faithful, and certain characters like, say, Martial Law, who's played by Kung Lee, are not given the screen time that they deserve, really. But anyway, Gareth Daniels plays the main villain. Can't remember his name exactly, but not a huge part really. But he gets to do some good fight scenes. You know, he's not as young as he used to be, but he's still got the moves. Gareth Daniels in Tekken. A pretty good film. And moving on, we have the Steve Austin film Hunt to Kill, which starts off really well actually, but just descends into just weirdness really. Just gets a bit. I think they ran out of the budget or something. But it starts off really well. I like Steve Austin. I think he's got a good presence, good actor. Probably my second favourite wrestler turned actor after Roddy Piper. Gareth Daniels in this plays one of the bad guys who enlists Steve Austin's help in doing something or other, which I can't remember. It's not a great film, but Gareth Daniels gets into a fight with Steve Austin. It's an alright fight. It's not the greatest, of course. Gareth Daniels playing the bad guy loses, but you know, it's okay. But it starts off well, but it gets worse. And we have Game of Death, which has a really large part for Gareth Daniels because he plays the main villain. Has a lot of scenes, really stretches his acting muscles in this one alongside Wesley Snipes. It's an alright film. The end fight between Gareth Daniels and Wesley Snipes is disappointing because they're both competent fighters, more than competent. But the fight never really takes off. It just doesn't really go anywhere. It's got some good moves in it, some good kicks, but it's just short, and it could have been so much better. I like Wesley Snipes. He's really good in this. Yeah, there's a lot of good points about the film, but the end fight is disappointing. And that's really it for the Gareth Daniels, his main films that he stars in. Of course, he does a lot of films he was a bit player in, so we'll have a quick look at some of them. Of course, he was in The Expendables, playing bad guy the Brit, who gets killed by Jet Li and Jason Statham, I believe. I seem to recall. So it takes two guys to take out Gary Daniels. He should have had a bigger part in the film. I got excited when I saw the film and his name was in the opening credits, and then I was a bit disappointed in what we actually got in the end. We also have Blood Fist 4. He has a small part in that with his mate Don the Dragon Wilson. There he is with his long hair. He has a couple of fights with Don the Dragon in that. And he also popped up in Don the Dragon's film Ring of Fire in a very small part. Has some more fights. Of course, he outclasses Don the Dragon by quite a bit. There's a little picture in there doing a kick. Good film, Ring of Fire. They made 3 of these films. Really good. I'm not a huge fan of Don the Dragon Wilson, but he makes some really good, cheesy, fun martial arts films. We also have Gary Daniels in the film Final Impact with Lorenzo Lamas and Michael Worth. There's a small part in that, playing a fighter. He's either playing a fighter or a cop. And he is also in the Jackie Chan film City Hunter, where he plays the main bad guy, Richard Norton. He plays Richard Norton's second in command. He has a really good training scene where he does the splits, does a lot of good kicks. He also has a decent fight scene with Jackie Chan in an amusement arcade, where the bizarrely dress up as Street Fighter 2 characters. I think Gary Daniels dresses up as Ken, and Jackie Chan dresses up as Chun-Li, E Honda, and I think maybe a few others, and they duke it out in the arcade. It's a kind of like typical Jackie Chan film. It's a comedy, but Gary Daniels is really good in it. One of his earlier films. He's got a lot of the ponytail, and he's really fast, really cool. It's also got some good special features. Audio commentary by Hong Kong cinema expert Bay Logan, and it's also got a really long interview with Gary Daniels talking about the role and how he was taking part in another film and had to ask the director. Actually, I'll get to that because the film in question was Knights, starring Kathy Long, who incidentally is probably my favourite female martial artist. Even though she didn't make many films, she really kicks ass. She really does. In this film, she has basically in the film she has to kill all the cyborgs in the future. The future's been overrun by cyborgs. She has to kill them all. She literally has to kill them all. And she has this long fight scene where she just kills cyborg after cyborg, and she knows how to fight. She's amazing. I can't stress enough. And it also stars Lance Henriksen and Chris Christopherson as cyborgs, and it's directed by Albert Pyun, who directed Cyborg. And Gary Daniels in this plays an evil cyborg, and his role in this had to be cut down considerably because of City Hunter, and he had to ask Albert Pyun, the director, if he could leave the film early to take part in this great opportunity, this Jackie Chan film. And Albert Pyun kindly said yeah, he could, and cut his role accordingly. Had him wear a veil a lot of the time so you couldn't see it was him. So he has quite a considerable part in this film, but it was meant to be a lot bigger. And it's quite bizarre because his character in this alternates between being between using Gary Daniels' actual British voice and an American voice, which sounds nothing like him. Of course, that's obviously because he had to leave the set early, but it just seems weird that they got a voice that was nothing like his actual voice. But anyway, Knights is a really good film. The ending hints at a sequel that never happened. A bit like the the other Albert Pyun film, The Sword and the Sorcerer, although that sequel did happen eventually 30 years later. Definitely recommend Knights, not for Gary Daniels in particular because he's not in it very much, but just for a good film. And Kathy Long is amazing. There she is there. And finally, for the Brits out there who remember the Clash of the Titans martial arts tournaments that took place during the 90s and 2000s, Gary Daniels appeared in Clash of the Titans 12, a little guest spot, doing his stuff, showing a demonstration of his skills. This was in 1996, and originally a VHS, 3 hours long, double VHS, but I put them on DVD. That's Clash of the Titans 12. I actually put the scene onto YouTube, so you can check out his bit if you look on my channel. And that's it really. That's all my Gary Daniels films. Actually, there's probably a few more in there that I can't think of right now, but thanks for watching and bye.